Welcome to the Bearded Horde, home of the Beardcast. And now, here's your host, the Beard himself, Jones the Beard. Get ready to die.
How we doing today, guys?
Welcome.
Hey, we survived.
There was something that happened last night. I'm trying to think what happened.
The Browns did not have any involvement in it. I will say this. We didn't do anything,
Not a thing.
which we won by not doing anything.
So last night was the 2024 NFL Draft.
It was?
First round.
Yeah. So
Yeah, just first round. We
Ju-
have many more rounds to go.
Second and third tonight, right?
second and third tonight.
Yep.
So, Ray, give me your thoughts. I wrote down a couple of questions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were some definite surprises last
There's big
night.
doozy.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 quarterbacks taken in the first
10 picks.
10 picks.
Six overall.
6 overall in the first, the
Yep.
first 14.
Yeah, I mean, it was bananas, right? So, I mean, fire sale on quarterbacks.
Yeah, actually,
Everybody's trying to get a quarterback.
an NFL record was set with 14 consecutive offensive players taken.
Yep.
So, never happened before.
Yeah, I mean, usually, like, what you're seeing is a lot of, cornerbacks was kind of the trend we've seen
Yeah,
in the
like
past
defensive
several
ends.
years.
Stud secondary, defensive ends.
Yeah, safeties. But, man,
Well, and I think that's where everybody had the idea of Atlanta going. And
I had them taking Jared Verse or Dallas Turner, actually.
Dallas Turner was the one I
Dallas
really
Turner.
thought they were going to go with, and they chose Chaos instead.
Yeah. Yeah, definite chaos.
So you sign Kirk Cousins to 5 years, $190 million?
Big money.
Something like that, in that neighborhood?
$100 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yes. And you decide instead to draft his replacement, who would be 30 years old before he starts.
Yeah, it's
So-
Now, that's if Kirk makes it to 40. Let's be honest. He is 35. He's
Yeah.
coming off an Achilles. I mean,
both of these quarterbacks
Oh, yeah.
dealt with serious injuries.
Maybe that was their concept. If we put two bad knee quarterbacks together, we'll have two good knees.
harvest one knee for the other.
There we go.
Yeah,
I don't think it works like that, but
Yeah.
They admitted they're trying the Green Bay model. I just don't see this working out, just being honest.
I mean, they can say the Green Bay model, but if you saw the video between the owner and the coach and the GM afterwards, I don't think that was too much of the Green Bay model.
Yeah,
so.
Fontenot's very lucky he's not fired.
And they didn't tell Cousins.
No, his camp was insanely mad.
They made the phone call to him after they made the phone call for the pick.
Uh-huh.
Yes, they were on the clock.
Yeah, they were
when
like,
he
hey, by
found
the
out.
way,
Yep.
you're going to see Goodell come across the stage here in a minute,
And you're not going to like it.
You're not going to be happy about this.
That was bananas. Okay, Josh, let's just jump right in here. My couple questions. I'm going to defer to you guys as our experts.
Nah, there's something.
That's a loose word there.
Yeah.
You guys are our experts. I don't know a whole lot. I know what we did
You know
with
what you did?
Tennessee.
You know what you did?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We had to do it. We should have done it for years. But anyways, the offensive line is decimated.
And I
at
don't
Tennessee.
know about Latham.
He's a beast.
He is not a little guy.
I think they went with pedigree, personally.
Yeah, I do.
think they
That's
went to the
exactly
Alabama
what I
pedigree.
said. I said I think this is still that Saban effect.
Yeah.
Listen, Bama wins.
But
And,
I mean, Joe Alt, he's
listen,
good.
nah,
but I think that Latham is a better fit there at Tennessee.
listen, you guys did what you needed to do. Was you're still invested in Levis this year.
Trust me, I would have liked to have had both Alt and Latham.
Can we just take both guys?
Can I just take both?
Overall, Alt is the better guy. For what you all are switching to, you didn't want Fasciano because he's a run tackle.
Yeah.
And we'll get that in a minute. I think the Jets messed up a little bit. But
Yeah.
And Fuaga was another real dense tackle. So unless you were trading back for like a Mims, like where Cincinnati took
went,
him, or Faltano, which went to Pittsburgh, you all took the person you needed. J.C. Latham, I think I had him as the 13th pick going to the Raiders, so I had him as a mid-first. But you didn't reach. Like,
No,
he fits your scheme. You all are
yeah,
switching to a
that's-
pass offense. Like,
And you
Yeah,
guys
for sure.
You guys have already got the weapons.
It's
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, the new coach, is a Cincinnati.
It's Callahan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cincinnati Bengals offensive coordinator last year.
Yep. Well,
So-
he robbed us of our O-line coach.
That's true.
He took Daddy with him down there, and
Yeah.
so I'm still a little bitter about it. So,
But you kind of know what you're getting. then.
yes, 100%.
and it's way different than what
Well-
it's been in the past few years.
And I think that's the effect that you see of bringing Bill Callahan in as well. Is he knew when you bring in somebody with the pedigree of Bill Callahan as the way he's worked on offensive lines. I mean, Cleveland has showed it over the years.
Yeah.
You went in the trenches, and that's what he's done. And he made his stamp the very first year in the draft was we're going to take offensive line. This is how we're going to win this game.
Yeah,
So,
we're absolutely depleted at O line. We desperately needed something there, and honestly, we could have used it even if we were still with Vrabel and Henry that
100%.
era.
You were going offensive tackle regardless.
Yeah, we were just decimated there. So it irregardless, but it's definitely interesting to see. As a fan, as a Titans fan, you can see which direction we're going in a whole new direction.
Yep.
We're going for a speed offense. It's being built around Levitz. It's
And from you guys like us, this is one of the first time Cleveland's kind of in the position of waiting. And I mean that's where we're at in the team. We signed a lot of 1-year contract of guys of now we're drafting for depth. Now, to the exact opposite of Cleveland, we go over to Ray with Carolina.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and hit this one. Yeah.
And that is going to be a sensitive subject, but I'll let Ray touch on. I'm not a Carolina guy, so
I just want to ask why. Like
I get it.
I had a mid-second on Leggett. I actually had him going to Atlanta with the 43rd pick. So I mean, we could have had the opportunity. We traded up one pick. Like, who's beating down the door of Buffalo to draft Leggett?
and it all happened while
Like-
he was asleep.
Yeah,
too.
it did.
He
It
went
did.
to
So I
sleep.
woke up this morning and I was like, we didn't pick anybody. Holy crap.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's kind of get into it. Okay, so I'm going to I'm deferring to you guys as our expert. So here's my first question: what team benefited the most, or who was a big winner last night as a team? Who was the big winner last night in round one?
Man, I mean, I've seen this go a couple different ways. I mean, a lot of guys made good picks. Yeah, I mean, you have to say Chicago. I mean, when you get the first pick and you feel like you get your guy. I really can say Chicago once I see the haul that they still are going to be getting from Carolina next year still.
They get a second next year, yeah.
As a second and a third, isn't it? I thought
Second
it
and a third or second and a
was.
fourth,
Yeah, they get 2 more picks. So they're not done off of the Bryce Young trade from last year.
which was a mess up.
I'm not digging at Carolina. I promise you, I'm not. But no, I liked what they did. You have to say Arizona. They probably got the best player in the draft with Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, I mean, I was very interested to see who he would go for, and honestly, I mean, I agree. I think he's the best wide receiver in that.
He is
class.
head and shoulders best in the class. Now, if you're talking about production and long term, I really like Roma Dunze.
Yeah.
If you're talking about teams who have 2 picks, the Bears are at the top.
Yeah, I mean,
But if you're talking about a team who had a single pick and benefited the most, I'm going to go with the Patriots. Drake May, I still believe this. He will be the best quarterback in this class.
Wow, that's a bold statement.
We'll see in 3 years. He's the youngest guy in the class. He has
Okay.
the biggest arm. He's the most accurate. Like he is Josh Allen Jr. in the sense of you know what you're getting. You're getting a big quarterback with a big arm that's accurate. He's going to put that team in a much better situation.
he can. I think the big thing with May though is with Jacoby Brissett already there.
Yeah,
And their lack of playmakers on that offense. I mean, they really don't have much.
The Patriots have a lot of day 2 and day 3 picks, though.
They do, but this is one of those you can't throw May into the fire too fast because everybody's still really, really burnt after the Mac Jones pick.
Yeah.
So you throw May in too fast, and man, the burners are gonna get hot.
we've seen teams in the past. Have 2 high first round picks
Yep.
and have blown them. Okay, did Chicago? I wasn't going to say anything, Josh. I wasn't going to say anything.
I don't think
Did
Chicago
Chicago
messed
blow?
up.
Did they do the same thing?
I don't think
I
they
don't
messed
think
up.
so. No, I think that second pick they could have went so many different ways. They could have went defensive end. They could have went offensive line. All of those would have won for them.
Yeah.
They could have traded back.
Yeah.
They only have 2 more picks left in the entire draft. So a team that's void of talent like they are right now,
Yeah.
getting more picks, that would have been a win. But they went in wanting these 2 guys. They got the 2 guys
Yeah.
they wanted.
Yeah.
So I
And
don't.
I mean, they picked up Keenan Allen.
Yep, they
In
fixed
free-
the offense a little
Yeah.
bit in free agency. I am a big fan of the Swift pickup.
I mean, yeah.
Their running back room goes from Deontay Foreman, Khalil Herbert. Now you're adding in DeAndre Swift.
You brought in
You
Keenan
added
Allen.
Keenan Allen.
You already had DJ
I
Moore.
don't. Yeah, I don't.
Thanks again, Carolina.
Thanks again, Carolina. I don't really care about the picks this year, honestly. Their defense was top 13
It was.
last year. They're going to draft some depth. They don't expect Keenan Allen to be there full time, and I think that's what the Roma Dunze pick says.
Yeah.
Now, every mock that I did, I had them either taking, I had them giving Caleb Williams the number 1 every time.
Yeah.
I don't think he is going to be it for 15 years. I don't think he's that franchise guy. I think Caleb Williams is going to get them over the hump, put them in a good situation. Roma Dunze the same way. I do think Roma Dunze is the best route runner in the draft.
I'll be the guy that I'm planting my flag on Marvin Harrison on every
I
one of
know
those.
that. I know
And
that.
listen, I'll call the homer, but so do a lot of NFL guys.
Yep.
So I'll be.
Well, let's talk a little, since we had so many quarterbacks go, right?
Yeah, there's a little
It
bit
is.
of them.
It's rare that a quarterback comes out and has an immediate impact. I mean, C.J. Stroud last year.
You know,
Was that-
should have been the number 1 overall pick.
Should be in Carolina.
Should be wearing blue right now. Yeah.
That guy.
I'm just saying, those guys are few and far between.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it usually takes 2-3 years to develop a
Well,
quarterback.
They're drafting into a bad situation.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what usually happens at the beginning. And I think you're going to see that all the way down. So, like, I think Jaden Daniels, there's no way he doesn't get the nod day 1. They just, with shipping Sam Howell out, they're ready for the
They
rookie.
cleaned house
and,
for it, yeah.
And they're going to go for it. May, I don't think that's the right prescription here. I think you have to let May develop. I mean, everyone says, I mean, even Ray, he could be the best quarterback in this draft, but with the things they're missing there, new coach, new system everywhere around the board, give the young guy some time to get up. But then you're going all the way down. Penix, he's probably just not going to see the field for
I
years.
had a second round talent
years.
on Penix, and that was to a situation like the Raiders, who
Yeah,
needed
who
a
needed
quarterback.
right
Right.
now.
And now the Raiders in a situation they're running with Garner Minshew, buddy.
it's
and
Minshew magic, buddy. I mean,
everybody was shocked when Penix went.
Yeah,
I mean, it
except
stunned everybody.
even the owner. Yeah.
yeah. And but then you saw, and they did it. Atlanta broke the draft last night with that pick because from there you saw the overreactions. Just, I mean, it was pure panic. You saw JJ go right after, which that's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
I
trade
love it.
again, trade up 1 pick. The Jets
And,
calling, being like, "Hey,
so-
Denver's trying to,
A guy, some listed as going as the board as number 4. Then you see McCarthy go. Then you see Bo Nix go, who again probably second
round grade. I had
second
him
round grade.
going in the second round to the Patriots. Actually, I thought the Patriots were going to trade back with the Vikings for them to get May. They get 3 first-round picks to do it,
Yeah.
like 2 this year, 1 next year, and it just didn't happen.
Well-
Mayo loved May. Like,
And then you saw the Raiders standing there with I don't know what to do with my hands.
oh yes,
Yeah.
those are
So,
probably the 2 biggest losers to me is Atlanta and the Raiders.
Okay, well that was going to be my next question. Who was so if Chicago was kind of they did a good job.
Yeah, they did,
with
yeah.
where they were at. So we're
I'm gonna call Cleveland a winner too because we didn't screw it up.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
okay. So then are we saying who was the big loser? Was it Atlanta?
Atlanta. I don't see how
They
Atlanta's
blew
not.
it.
I mean, at least in the Raiders sense, they got a talent they can use.
Yeah.
And with Minshew, I mean, hey, listen, they said today that they were talking to the Raiders GM, the owners, the coaches, and they were like, what about the pick? They're like, there's nothing in the NFL says we can't have 2 tight ends on the field at all times. There's not.
I can see them going to a 2 tight end set.
I don't see how they don't now.
With Devontae Adams on the outside.
Right.
I could also see them. I think they're like 42 today.
Okay.
pick like top 10
Yeah.
today. I could see them being the first one to take a running back.
I think that's where they go.
I think Dallas, if they want Brooks, has to panic.
Yeah. Well, that
And
again,
I have said that Brooks is the first running back off the board, like 56 to Dallas, but I can see the Raiders panicking.
I think this is. I mean, me and you just said as we walked on our way down here, and listen, as the Cleveland Browns pick this later today, this is the one thing that happened yesterday. I want to see today is panic.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to see somebody reach for that first running back, and let's go, boys! Everybody start panicking because there's a lot that believe that there could be third round before we see a running back go.
No, I
Really?
do,
Third round?
I do think two go in the second. I think Jonathan Brooks
They should.
And-
I totally agree with that.
and
Two
the
should
Florida
go
State
today.
boy Benson, if he falls, he's fallen to the Giants in the third round very early. That's my opinion.
Man, Florida State was so hurt. I mean, they were hurt. That schedule of theirs, it hurt them in
They just kept on getting injured too. I mean,
right.
Jordan
so,
Travis
but
got
you're
hurt.
but you're now you're seeing that in the draft too. Like
yeah.
teams are not real up on them because it's still their
Injury prone.
concern.
I think Jared Verse is still the edge that they wanted taking him. Did he go
In
to the
Seattle?
Colts?
No, Colts took the.
Oh, they
kid
took
from
Latu.
UCLA. Yeah,
they took
from
Latu.
UCLA.
Latu.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Byron Murphy went to Seattle. Jared Verse fell. No, the Vikings traded up for Jared Verse.
Okay.
I think he went to a good situation. I still have him as.
Probably.
Jared
They
Verse
lost-
went to the Rams.
Was it the Rams? I'm sorry.
Yes,
Yeah, at
they replaced.
19.
Oh, the Vikings traded up for Dallas Turner. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes.
I have Dallas Turner as the best edge that was
100%.
available. I had
Top 10 pick.
I had Verse at number 2.
Okay.
I had Verse in the top 15. I had him going generally to Denver.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't anticipate 6 quarterbacks being taken in the first 12 picks.
I
Like,
didn't. Listen, and I think the funniest thing was when they went to the Denver War Room and you saw Sean Payton fist bumping.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I knew
ooh,
right then. I knew right
I
then
don't
as
know
soon
if-
as they flipped to the
I
Denver
don't
War
know
Room.
if you fist bump with. I mean,
Right.
they did upgrade over
Right.
Zach Wilson, who
Yeah.
was their starter walking into last
Yeah.
night. So I think you drafted the exact same guy. Congratulations.
I think I disagree. I do think Nix is going to be the guy in Denver for a couple years, a minimum.
Well, he's not going to have the automatic hate that Zach Wilson had in New York.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he's the most experienced quarterback coming out of this draft.
For
Yeah,
sure,
I
for
mean,
sure.
Like a 5-year starter, 3
A
and 2.
Heisman finalist.
Heisman finalist. And if you listened to a couple people last night, if it wasn't for Jaden Daniels just having an insane year, Bo Nix was the Heisman.
I like Bo Nix. I like Bo Nix as well. I think
Listen,
he's
he's going to get handed a guy who knows how to work with quarterbacks.
Yeah.
In Sean Payton.
I
Sean
think
Payton
now
does.
Denver's challenge is trying to get some receivers around him because you guys took Jerry Jeudy.
Yep.
They've got Cortland Sutton.
I do appreciate that. See, I'm telling you, somehow we won. I'm not really exactly sure how
You'll
yet.
see
but-
later, yeah.
well. We still got round 2 and 3 going 4 and round 4. Really, we'll know more next week.
Yeah.
You know, we get
Oh,
through
on
all the
Monday.
rounds and
Come Monday,
we'll-
when the dust settles,
Yes.
we'll know stuff.
okay, but back to round 1.
Okay.
Biggest bust.
Biggest bust.
I know that sounds like the same question as who messed up
it's
the
different.
most.
It's different
It
because
is.
the worst pick to me was Atlanta with Michael Penix because that's real early. Yeah, he's your guy. You want him, blah, blah, blah. I think the biggest bust,
And could be a player. It doesn't necessarily have to be a team.
San Francisco.
San
They-
Francisco.
Man, that was.
They took Ricky Purcell from Florida in the first round. I had a 3rd round grade on Purcell. I had him as like wide receiver 12.
I'm just glad you didn't list Levert. Like
No.
that's. I mean, I'm glad
Yeah.
that you don't feel that hard about him. I think Purcell's probably. I just man, that was a reach that they didn't. And there's already discussions of them trying to trade Debo and Ayuk.
Yes.
Now they're more insecure. Your superstars
Well,
are
now
going.
you're going to get less for him.
Right.
Everyone already knows that
Right.
while you're trying to trade him, you just drafted a guy you didn't need to in the first round.
Right,
So
100%.
you just devalued all trade value of the other two. So
It makes sense. Ayuk
yeah,
making an exit out of San
100%.
Fran.
I
But
could
yeah,
see them
now
trade
it's-
Debo before I.
I could now, but now the value for Debo.
Yeah.
What are you
talking? A second this year and a second next year?
Maybe,
Like,
maybe with his injuries, like you're going to tell me, hey, congratulations, he paid all of last year. Let's talk about the years before that.
Yeah.
So
All right. So your biggest bust was
Purcell.
I'm going to go
Purcell.
with him.
Same.
yeah.
We're in consensus.
I mean, if we're not going to go Atlanta on it, then
no. And Atlanta, I think, is a strategy
it is a
problem
strategy,
there. But I'm saying this kid's not going to make a splash this year.
I just don't see it.
They're going to put him on the field. They're going to put him on the field.
They're going to run the
and
three.
he's not going to do
receiver
much.
sets.
And if we're and just to be a little bit different, I'll go Lautu. Is it Lautu?
Latu, yeah.
Yes, because this kid is already retired once due
Yeah,
to medical
medically,
injury, and I mean, listen, if we're talking the 28th, 27th pick at the end of the draft,
I had him going 26 to Tampa Bay.
exactly. So like, if you wanted to stay at the end, but if you're talking top half of the draft and you're going to invest that in him, I don't know. Medical history, I try not to let it totally sway everything I do, but something as drastic as retirement due to medical history at one point in your career, man, you haven't even taken a hit from the NFL player yet.
That would be my point. Is that the NFL is a whole nother level,
Whole
than
different level.
college.
And if college hits did that to you, man, I would
It
be
was his
scared.
back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's my number 2.
Yeah.
I can't get over the reach for Purcell. It had to be the
I
pre-draft
know.
interview.
It had to be. Something sold him on it, and I mean, listen.
He walked in. Listen, I'm the best there is.
If
Ever will
if
be.
if he got the blessing from Kyle Shanahan, I'm not going to.
I'm not going to argue with the offensive guru. So
I mean, Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy. I like when
I'm a
they saw
Texas
that.
fan, obviously.
Yeah.
I knew Brock Purdy was going to make an impact somewhere, whether it been as a backup or something. Did I anticipate MVP level? Absolutely not. But I watched him shred defenses in the Big 12. Blah
Yeah.
blah blah.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a big Purdy fan.
Where does Tennessee go about the same spot tonight?
Same spot.
We're
Okay.
38th.
Listen,
What
with
we
all
got.
the trades,
No, the seventh and the second
by the time the second round gets around, like nobody's where they were supposed to be after the
I
first
have
round.
Tennessee just for reference. I have you all taking a corner.
Yeah, I think that's where we
TJ
really.
Tampa is the guy I expect you all to take.
I really think that's where we need to focus on. I mean,
Yeah.
we've got edge rushers. We've got
You guys brought in
You're getting
Aduze from Cincinnati.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
getting shrouded by or shrouded twice a year. So.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
man.
Please don't remind me. Although the AFC North has gotten much
This
tougher
is,
this
it-
year.
I don't. We
as
picked
well.
up your guys' leftovers, or Baltimore picked up your guys'
Yeah, I was
leftovers.
going to say. Yeah,
now
you
we
guys
get to
didn't.
face it. Oh,
Yeah.
and there you go. That's what's going to affect Cleveland tonight. I think Cleveland goes defensive tackle.
Michael Hall's who I have them taking.
You guys
Ohio
got to bulk
State.
up.
We got to. Everybody in the AFC North got to
They're
because
going to run straight at you.
at you. Like
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bus coming downhill.
That's
now.
right.
So-
We talked about this earlier. Like your choice at Baltimore is up the middle or you fake it and you
And
go
let
around
Lamar
the edge
edge.
with Lamar. So
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
it's
going to be scarier than what most people are going to think. I mean, that's
I
my
don't-
personal opinion.
I don't want to think
it's
about it.
and I think Henry is getting older, but I think he's still got plenty of
I do
gas.
too. I was very surprised.
Especially what they're going to have asked for him to do in Baltimore compared to what he was doing in Tennessee.
Yeah.
They're
yeah.
just not going to ask as much.
Okay.
So,
Let's get on to the next question here.
all right.
I asked you guys the biggest bust.
Right.
Who was the sleeper pick in round 1? Who was the one that was like, ooh, I didn't.
I
know.
know Ray didn't really feel like it, but I do like what Kansas City did.
Agreed. Fastest guy in
I don't
history.
know if that's a sleeper.
I
That's
don't-
the thing.
but
'cause
I don't
that's
think-
where my brain goes first is Xavier Worthy running the 4.21. Tyreek Hill Jr. here. I mean,
I just don't think I saw them. But again, I mean, of course they had to trade up for him, but
Yeah.
I didn't see him landing there. So
I
It does. It has that Tyreek Hill though
Oh,
effect because
man.
it stretches the field, and now you've got to.
that's what screwed Kelsey last year. Just being
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
Having 2 to 3. The
What-
safety doesn't have to play as
That's right.
deep.
How many
What do you
tou-
do with Kelsey now in the middle? Because
many-
you've got to defend.
Yeah.
How many touchdowns did Patrick Mahomes throw over 20 yards last year?
Yeah, none. Like hardly any.
One.
I was
Yeah.
going to say it was less than 2.
He had one touchdown over 20
and
yards.
wasn't
last
it
year.
Noah Gray or something
like
somebody
that.
random?
Yes.
Yeah.
So like, yes.
Or Watson, Justin Watson. It was one of those guys.
They need that spreader on the offense.
Right.
And the big thing is, and I was listening to this morning, people keep on forgetting, we have the new kickoff rules this year. So
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. That's
Kickoffs
gonna
are
be
going to
interesting.
be encouraged. This guy is going to
He's going to do it.
excel at kickoff.
I saw him take back punts every year.
Yes.
For us, he
Yeah.
took back 3 or 4 every year for
Yeah.
Tutties. Like
Yeah.
he is stupidly fast.
And
he has great field
Fastest
vision.
kid in the history of the combine.
4.21.
Right? Isn't that what it was?
And I think you're going to see that tonight too. I think these teams are going to start thinking about these return kids all of a sudden because it's something we forgot about for years.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So-
Okay. We got to wrap up. But
Yep.
that was biggest bus and sleeper picks. So
All right.
are we both a consensus on?
If you're calling him a sleeper, that's where I'm going.
Okay.
I think that the speed alone took him from a day 2 pick, second, third round to first round pick.
Well, plus-
I think Kansas City fell in love with him.
Plus Texas.
But
on.
the biggest surprise to me, and probably the best player still available.
Oh, you're getting in my next question.
Okay, is that where we're going?
So that's where we're heading. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay, so I don't know why the Bills traded back and did not take Adonai Mitchell.
Well, if they don't take
him at 33,
if that's not the first pick off the board tonight,
I'm losing my mind.
Yeah.
Like I had him above Brian Thomas. I had Adonai Mitchell as like wide receiver 4. Like after you get past those first 3 to 4 guys, he's it.
Okay.
And-
Then let's get to our last question here.
all right.
Best second rounders.
Yeah.
Best second rounders. Who you guys got?
I think Ray brought him up earlier. A couple of the running backs. I think Dallas is going to be looking to upgrade at running back.
I think Dallas is looking for a day 1 starter.
I do too. I don't think you bring Zeke in for talks to be the starter.
Not after what happened there.
No, I don't think that's what the talks for Zeke are. So I think they're looking for a starter. I agree with you. I think the Raiders are looking for a running back.
Yeah.
So
It just depends how far the Raiders want to reach.
yeah, that's what it is. But then again, I think Raiders already saw this once in the draft. Of we'll wait, and well, you didn't.
They got smacked with it,
and they
yeah.
got smacked. And now they have 2 tight ends. So maybe in the second round they don't want to be on the end of the running back run.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they want to be the ones who start the running back run tonight. I think that's one. I think that's where I'll be watching the most to see what happens there.
So best second rounders for me is obviously A.D. Mitchell. I think he's the first guy off the board.
Should be.
I think Jonathan Brooks or Trey Benson
Yep.
are the best second rounders available. I can see them late second. I have Brooks going to Dallas at 56, but that's barring any run early, like you said with the Raiders. Offensive center. Zach
Yeah.
Frazier from West Virginia and Jackson Powers Johnson
Yeah.
from Oregon. I'm super surprised Powers Johnson is still there. I have him as like the best available player overall.
And I'll throw just because it's
Best player overall in the second round.
Second round. It's still available.
Yes, yes.
And then I'm just going to be selfish. I'm going to throw Maurice Hall in there or
Michael Hall.
Michael
Jr.
Hall
Yeah.
in there because that's just selfish. That's who I want. Go Bucks.
I think that's
go
who's- I
Browns.
think that's who you all
We
take.
need to solidify that defensive line because unfortunately here comes Derrick Henry.
Yeah. So, so essentially, kind of what we're saying is we're going to see a lot more. We're going to see running backs, and we're going to see a lot more
I think
defense.
you'll see the start of
Defense
running
heavy.
backs, and I think it'll be defensive heavy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it kind of has to. We kind of drafted all the offense in the first round.
Yeah, all the offense.
So,
is gonna-
Oops, all offense.
So there's
Yeah.
not much there. You're not going to get much else on the offensive
interesting.
side. So.
Interesting. Well, listen, I appreciate you guys stopping
hey,
by.
it's great to be back.
We'll meet up next week.
Yes.
And
And we'll just kind of do a recap.
might not be celebrating so much as a Browns fan, but maybe I will be. You
Yeah.
never know. So,
Yeah. All right, good deal. All right,
good
thank you
seeing
for
Jen.
watching.
Yes,
Hey, we
thank you,
appreciate
everybody.
We'll we'll see you guys next week, and we'll see.
We'll
Go
recap.
Titans! That's what I'm saying. Go Titans.
Keep pounding.
Okay,
All right.
peace out.